Tier 1 city is where people has credit cards. Tier 1 city is where people has digital wallets, right? So your e-commerce first penetration would go there. Now, the question is, how do you touch into the remaining 240 million population? You need to be able to enable cash payment into a digital payment, because 70 to 90% of the retail transaction in Indonesia, especially outside Tier 1 city, are still in cash basis because, they operate mom and pop shop, for example. So they got the payment in cash. So hi, Asempath. I'm Teddy Utomo. I'm the president of Bukalapak. Happy to be here with you. Now, Bukalapak is Indonesian. We don't call it e-commerce. We now call it all commerce because we engage both in online and offline. Our target and our key strength are actually in outside Tier 1 city. Over 70% of our business are generated from outside Tier 1 city. Our focus is on the SME in terms of the seller and also enabling and empowering SME, but at the same time providing value added to our end user. The reason why I emphasize on the SME is because, if you looked at Indonesia, I think everybody kind of see the country, massive amount of potential, demographic dividends, over 60 million SME across the nation. We are talking about 250 or 240, 250 million people live outside the Tier 1 city. Now, our business is looking at how to empower the SME, how to bring them to the next level, and servicing for the nationwide of Indonesia. We're now about 7 million mom and pop kiosks across Indonesia. We provide through technology the capability for them to upgrade their business so that they can service to be a phone credits top-up agent, even remittance, so they become basic financial service provider, bill payment agent, right? So today they have a choice of their expansion of the business, if you wish, to improve their well-being. Indonesia e-commerce market, it's a very vast potential. A lot of people has not taken into account is that as fast as the growth we have seen in the past, they are mostly generated from Tier 1 city. Tier 1 city is where people has credit cards. Tier 1 city is where people has digital wallets, right? So your e-commerce first penetration would go there. Now, the question is, how do you touch into the remaining 240 million population? You need to be able to enable cash payment into a digital payment, because 70 to 90% of the retail transaction in Indonesia, especially outside Tier 1 city, are still in cash basis because, they operate mom and pop shop, for example. So they got the payment in cash. So as a result, they need to continue, when they pay for something, they will still use cash. What we have done by tapping into the 7 million mom and pop kiosks across Indonesia is we actually also open up the possibility to convert that cash-based asset into a digital payment. So to give you a bit of illustration, the number of ATM of the whole banking system across Indonesia is less than 500,000. So to have 7 million touch points, we have even wider network than even the whole banking system of the country combined. Without the infrastructure of the Mitra or the conversion of cash into a digital payment, these people are not going to able to enjoy technology advancement or purchasing through the e-commerce. We are talking about a much larger pie of potential that are practically still not yet being tapped into by and large, and that's exactly where the business we are heading to at the moment. From the beginning, a lot of the focus has been on the SME side. Up until about 2017 was when we realized that we are talking about all this technology. Even today, we are only servicing a small amount of Indonesian that has the access to this, right? That's when we're starting to expand actually into what we call the Mitra business, which is the O2O segment. When we starting to tap into the mom and pop store, that allows us very quickly to scale into outside Tier 1 city, right? And today, more than 70% of our business are actually generated from outside the Tier 1 city of Indonesia. This translates back to the very basic vision of the company and the mission of the company, which is to provide a fair economy for all Indonesia. For a lot of these traditional convenience store, traditional mom and pop store, inability to access into financing, they are handicapped by inability to offer additional product because they are not in a position to deal with large corporation to become the agent for a lot of the services like remittance and all that, or logistic agent. We do that for them because we are corporations. We made that contract with the service provider or the virtual product seller or the FMCG producer, right? In the very early start, obviously branding was very difficult. when nobody kind of understood. We literally went down to the street, to relate with every one of these mom and pop stores, talk to them, make sure that we are there, do a lot of education, to relate with them, to communicate with them, to know what is their pain point, and to know what exactly are the value add required by them, and to roll out exactly what they look for. We surveyed 200 of those mom and pop stores. So before they connected to Mitra Bukalapak and versus after, their revenue actually goes up by 300%. That explains about how much more additional benefit that we provide to them and expanding their business, improving the income, improving their livelihood. And I think significantly large pie that previously was largely untapped. The COVID pandemic that did accelerate, human behavior, not wanting to travel out or being outside your residential area much, right? And that's give rise to a purchase on through the apps, through marketplace. Because of the COVID pandemic, what happened is that people does not want to travel too far. So when they purchase their basic necessity, they go to that mom and pop store in front of their house because they feel safer. It's like 10 steps away from their doorstep, right? And interestingly, as they do so, they also find out this mom and pop store in front of their house now actually service more than just selling basic needs. You can top up your phone credits there, you can pay your electricity bill, water bill, you can buy your game voucher there, they are a logistic agent, you can send your goods there, you can send money there, right? Things just add on, and that kind of helps a lot more traffic going to the mom and pop store. Throughout the pandemic, actually, our mom and pop store connected to us has seen a massive surge in terms of our business recorded in our number. If you looked at Indonesia, it does have vast amount of potential. Estimated that around 4 to 5 times growth are available for Indonesia up until 2025. And I think with the new normal post the pandemic situation, it also helped the technological adoption in this country. And that has embedded practically technology into an everyday life and becomes a necessity of the people. We do implement massively differentiated type of strategy through targeting on the outside tier 1 city, through leveraging of the mom and pop store and SME across Indonesia. That allows us to tap into a nationwide demand of Indonesia based on our knowledge, local knowledge of Indonesia, well received by the market here.